Welcome back.
Yeah.
To another edition of 1911 Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're doing a little bit of training, red dot training to be specific. Before we jump into that though.
Basics, everyone, just a couple basic things that you should know.
People are so furious right now.
I know, you're so furious because you have to hear a sales pitch and a YouTube
You
video.
guys shouldn't make money.
Yeah, well, here's the fucking reality, everyone. We're a real estate company behind the scenes. We don't really, it's regular shit, but we operate pretty much all over the country. Let us know if you need anything. Website's linked below. Patreon's there. Totally up to you. No pressure. If you like to donate some shit, great, do it. If you don't, then fuck us, Don't fuck us, but you get where we're going with this, everyone. We do appreciate your support. A few weeks from when you see this, we're actually going to make it an annual thing. Is like, I have no other better way to put this, so it's probably not correct, but like life as a gun tuber, right? Essentially like a year-to-year update of like, okay, what happened to our channel? And what do you guys want to know? Essentially, it's like a behind-the-scenes, fan-driven sort of video on this is what it's like, and you can ask us whatever you want. Not like, what's your favorite gun, but like, what's it like to actually make gun videos? And like, can you make money from it? Like, ask whatever you want in the comments of this video, and we'll pick out some and we'll answer towards the end of the Life as a Gun Tuber video.
Jump into this. Cool. So I reached out to a SWAT guy in Mesa, Chewy. Thank you again for your time and instruction. He's one of the most well-trained cops I know, takes it very serious, trains everywhere with everyone, reads every book. I mean, he is dialed in and knows his shit. Mm-hmm. He's their primary red dot instructor. I think he qualifies all the guys on their weapons. Like, I mean, he knows his shit. Mm-hmm. And I told him I was struggling with red dot a little bit. Not struggling, but I wanted to make my groups, instead of a couple inches, tighten them up a little bit. So he's like, come on down, let's do this thing. So showed me a couple drills here that we're gonna go over. Okay. So you're gonna want to come up, and this first one I'm gonna talk to you about.
And everyone, I have no idea. Look, here's we won't get into it, but something that was supposed to get filmed today cannot get filmed today because little meltdown status. So this is an impromptu video that I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
So the first thing he talked to me about is presentation. And he right off the bat was like, we're gonna cut out the whole punch the gun out thing.
Okay.
And he's like, go with me on this. The reason why, and I think similarly, Scott said very similar things.
Yes. Right?
Yeah. And the reason why is when people punch out with a gun, they will overextend and then come back. Mm-hmm. And usually at the end of that extension, there's a dip, and then a rise, and then a dip. Yep. So he showed me this drill. You start with, he had certain targets that have it's like what, a 3-inch dot. I took the bottom of a monster can, boom, works great. Okay. Improvise and adapt, right? And so he said you want to stand close enough to the target to where you can almost touch it, not too close to where you're going to punch it, and then you do your presentation and your barrel should end right at the dot. Mm-hmm. At this dot. Yeah. So I'm a little too far back, so I'll get a little closer. And we started this from a holster, but we also did it just from low ready. Mm-hmm. And the idea is you want to bring the gun right up to your eyes instead of punching out and fishing for it.
Yeah, so you don't want the end of the muzzle to just smack that target.
Correct.
That's the opposite of what we're trying to achieve.
You got it. And if it rests against it, that's fine. But if that target starts, we get a hit like that, you're punching out too much. Yep. Okay. So from here, so I can even get a little bit closer. Mm-hmm. And these targets, because we're on a little slant or a little low, but basically you want this in line with your eye for the most part, which this one will be. Yeah. So that way when you bring the red dot up, red dot's right here in this circle, but you haven't overdriven the gun and punched through. Just do your presentation nice and slow, get a good sight picture, and end up right there. Okay. Okay. And so we did this probably like 10 reps, and he explained it obviously a lot better than I did, but he's an instructor and I'm not.
Yeah, everyone. Disclaimer on all this. Again, impromptu video. We are neither instructors, and we shy away from doing training content in terms of us being the ones, so hey, the day throws you some curveballs.
Some curveballs. So let me do 2 more of these so I can even get up a little bit closer. And this takes a little kind of figuring out because, again, we don't want to overdrive the gun to where we hit the target. What we don't want to happen is this. Yep. Okay? Because then I'm fully extended or I have to lean back. You want to be able to bring it straight up to your eyes and have your red dot centered on this. And in fact, I think I'm going to switch you because this target's a little taller, so it's going to look a lot better. Yeah. So I can even get up a little bit closer. Yep. Okay. And the idea is tweaking your presentation to where your arms, elbows, everything is perfect before you press that trigger, okay? Seems like not a big deal, but when you start doing this, because right now I'm a little high, my red dot rests right here and I got to bring it down. So I got to work on my grip as far as where that red dot needs to be, so I end up perfectly centered on the target.
Yeah, now if you were trying to actually hit the center of the target, then your dot is in the right spot.
Correct. At this distance, right?
Right.
Yep. Cool. You want to do a couple of these just from the low ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a holster for, I don't have a red dot pistol. Well, yeah, I don't have a red dot pistol out here or a holster for this, everyone. So I'm going to be working from the sort of high, low ready-ish position. Boy, this bush really wants to just take a shit on my stance, doesn't
Which
it?
starting at a low ready or high ready is the same, because your presentation needs to end up perfect no matter which way you're going.
Yeah.
So go ahead and side in. Yeah, and you can even scoot up a little bit, take half a step. Yep.
It's probably too close, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a little too close.
And this takes a little finagling, but once you get it down, yeah. Now, are you consciously not driving your arms forward so you don't hit the target, or are you just normal?
This is where I shoot, right here.
Okay, perfect.
I can't even see where my muzzle is. I mean, I got a little...
Yeah, take a quarter step up.
So Scott describes this at Modern Samurai as like 80, 20, 90, 10. So basically like you're flying, and then for that last 20, then you settle in, and that's where your dot drops in. He's got a cool, and it'll take you to like 95.5, where it's hauling ass speeds, where it's like 95, and then you drop in that last 5.
Okay.
Like it's similar notion.
When I'd almost argue, regardless of the speed or, 90, 80, whatever it is, if your presentation is right, then it's the same either way.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah. Okay, cool. Where do we go?
Let's move back to like 3 yards, and then we're going to start firing off some rounds.
Okay.
So in the black, if you notice I dipped a little bit to the left. Better. Okay, let's go look at those. All in the black, what we want, nice good presentation. My dot's hovering like right around here. My first round I dipped because I overdrove the gun a little bit to try to compensate, so cool.
Dot was in the center of the target.
So one thing Chewy talks about too, and some people in competition or other shooting would count those as hits. Chewy, I mean, he's at a very high standard. If you break the line on any of them, it's out completely. He's like, I mean, if you're gonna argue with me on that much, like, just fucking get better. So
okay, my counter argument, Chewy.
Hey, no. There's no argument with this. I'm just saying that's how he instructed this.
Nothing but love. But I shoot you in the difference of here or here, I could give 0 fucks.
100%. And I asked him that, and he's like, it's just a razor standard up. That's it. So I get it. Again,
sure.
Super type A, high functioning dude.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, he'll beat my ass. Chewy beat my ass right now.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's it, Chewy. I'm quick. Okay, I'm quick, and you don't want to try to catch me.
Dude, he's 6'5" and like not jacked, but like a solid dude. He'd beat all our asses at the same time.
Did you just call Chewy? Remember that Chris just called you not jacked.
He's not.
I would.
But he's like
do
a
that.
fit dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would never do that. I bet you're in great shape, my friend.
All right. So next thing we're gonna work on, you can stay here, Jake, is I was having trouble tracking my dot as far as with multiple rounds. I'd lose the dot and then find it and lose it and find it and lose it. So what we did is we'd start off with one shot at the height, and you're gonna want to look at this. At the height, so we start off one round. At the height of your recoil, pause and torch off another round. And what that is to diagnose where your dot is going during the recoil. Because we want that dot in the window during the whole recoil, obviously. But if it goes out and you pause for a second, we'll be able to diagnose that by that second shot. And we're gonna start this at 5. So we're gonna go real slow on this one, the first round, and then pause at the apex of your recoil and torch off another.
Okay.
Okay? Show you kind of what that looks like, and then I want to show it on camera how that looks. Okay? We're just gonna start from low ready on this. So I can't see my dot at all right now, so my grip is fucked.
Okay.
Okay? So if I were to torch off a round, I bet I'm gonna miss the target. Yep. Okay?
Yeah, you're off target.
So
unless it's in the black, but otherwise you're off target.
I was high right.
Okay.
On what?
I was saying unless you were in the black circle and we just can't see it, but
No, I'm shooting the square. A.
on the second shot.
No, but remember I'm right-handed, so I go high right, where you would go high left.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So we're gonna fix the grip a little bit with that. And one thing that Chewy was talking about, which you've talked to me about, is that pinky, putting a little force down on your support hand.
Yeah, shout out Scott on that. That one's not me.
All right. All right, so I went pretty quick on that one, putting some pressure on my pinky, and you see where those two shots landed,
yeah,
right?
total clean, yeah.
Yep. So let's do that again.
Overcompensate.
Yep. Overcompensate. I think, let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm down to the right.
Your second shot was low.
Yep.
In the box, but at the bleeding edge of the block.
So I was putting too much pressure on my support hand, driving that gun down.
Okay.
Okay. So those were horizontal. Did you see those two shots? They landed about 4 inches from each other. So we just got to play with that a little bit. But that's a decent little grouping.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I always reside in the good enough category. You know? Like,
Yeah.
hey, that box is there for a reason. That box is my target.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Okay.
Same thing with you?
My dot, as a lefty, tracks up and to the left. This is where my dot eventually settled, and that's where I torched off my second round. It was still in the box, but top of thoracic. Great.
So first round?
Yep.
Second round?
Dot's tracking up and to the left.
Okay.
Still in the window, so I knew where that round was going to go.
Yeah.
I could see the dot. I was like, yep, I know where that round's going.
Which is why that pause is pretty cool, to see where your recoil ends, to then adjust your grip, however, to make it so instead of going 8 inches, you're going 2 or 4, right?
I will admit also a little bit here, I am gaming the system slightly, because you'll notice my first round, I'm on purpose targeting the lower little quadrant of the square here to attempt to be on paper at the arc of that recoil.
Yeah.
So I am gaming it a little bit.
Which is fine. I mean, for especially video purposes, that's probably good so people can see. But I mean, you're consistent high and left, right? So
yeah.
A little more pressure on your support hand pinky, probably?
I could, yep,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, the truth is everyone needs to get out and train and do this kind of shit. Very few people do it on camera.
Correct.
So it's like, hey, we're doing what anyone who's a CCW owner or gun owner or whatever should be doing. We just happen to be doing it under the scrutiny of, we're showing you raw data where you can see this is how we shoot, real fucking unfiltered shit, and you can either say, hey, they shoot decent, or those guys suck. Doesn't really offend us either way. So,
Fair mixture of both.
yeah, I can live with it. Go pinky pressure here. Dropped your mag.
Ah, sorry. And let's go look while you're jamming that.
I'll address it, everyone, because I know you're all like, why does he drop the magazine? So if it's not a super heavy recoil spring, I need heavy recoil springs on my personal guns. The way my grip, just hand mechanics, all of it line up, this finger puts a little bit of pressure on mag releases, and if it's a fairly loose spring under recoil, I'm death gripping the gun here, I'll just drop the mag.
You know who has the same problem? Chewy. He's a left-handed shooter.
Is he?
Yep.
It's not like everyone thinks that means you can't shoot. It doesn't. It means you're gripping the fuck out of your pistol,
Yeah.
and the way your hand grips the gun, it is a reality of it.
Yeah.
Ask anyone that builds guns for me, like, not to sound fancy or whatever, but like if I'm buying a gun from your shop, 1911, whatever it is, I'll be like, I need a heavy recoil spring.
No, mag release spring.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Cool. So your first round right here.
Yep.
Second round right there.
Yeah. The cone of deviation, if you will, is identically the same. The first round's a little low in terms of the actual spread.
Yeah.
They're all identical, really.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty okay with the deviation, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm slinging rounds a little low on purpose here to start,
Yeah.
just to see where that second round's going. But
you see how this is a cool way to diagnose, especially if you're getting into red dots,
uh-huh.
how your gun is tracking, how you should track that dot, and what your hand should be doing to keep that dot from going instead of this to this.
Yeah, and that sounds always very easy.
Yeah.
And then it's fucking hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Very, very hard.
Okay, everyone. So this is going to be I'm going to all credit where it is due. So this was from the Modern Samurai class. Really, really cool block of instruction. This was on day 2, which is when we were not filming it. So the basic concept, right? Credit to Scott for this. I'm going to regurgitate to the best of my ability. So he comes from a competition background. Speed, the balance of speed and accuracy, of course, but speed matters. So talking about transition, so if you go, hey, we've got basically an A zone, right? And then a, you know, head box. Most of us, if we're going to shoot that, forget about a Mozambique drill. Let's just say 1 and 1, right? One center mass, one head. Most of us naturally would go, boom, resettle, and then drive the gun up and then take that headshot, right? Which logically not efficient, right? So basically his sort of efficiency hack, if you will, is to ride the recoil. So what you wind up doing in the class that is really cool, very counterintuitive, is you go boom, boom. So boom, on the way up, as that, I'm gonna exaggerate it, as the gun's recoiling up towards the head, as it starts hitting it, then you start squeezing off that round. So instead of boom, boom, it's boom, boom. It's weird because it feels so wrong and dirty to just like do something that's not difficult to do, because we like to do difficult shit, but it's kind of interesting. You got a Mac? So I will,
some training I've done with some special operations guys, they do the same thing vertically and laterally.
And you, in modern samurai, you go lateral too. So driving the gun left to right, you boom, 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 versus boom, tank turret, boom. Like you just start riding shit and you just, it's fucking cool. So anyway, I will, let's move in just a little. Yeah, it's a little far to be trying to going ninja fast.
Okay.
Right, so I'm just riding recoil up. Right, didn't go far enough. Right.
Okay.
So, track some hits.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm focusing on speed and efficiency versus insanely tight accuracy. First round's all tight, all at the, you know, in the A zone, but outside of our little square there. And you can see heads. I mean, obviously one low, that was the second iteration that I torched off a little fast. But I mean, you can see, look, as a general rule of thumb, I get it. There's one in the A box. I get it. I'm not oblivious to that. But given that all I'm doing is riding recoil up and I'm just torching off that round and it's like leading a target, right? If you're shooting hogs from a helicopter, for example, or whatever real world scenario is happening, right? You would lead the target, right? So you have a moving target, in this case, aka
in a helicopter,
a gun.
you lead behind it though.
Right, yeah. But sort of same notion here, which is, hey, as the dot is getting about here, I'm starting to squeeze off that round. Okay. Because by the time I'm actually getting the round off, it's in theory here. So it's boom, prepping the trigger, boom, right? Okay. So
let's try that.
Play with it. It's a really fun drill because it's totally counterintuitive to what most of us do. Kind of have to not think about it.
So I wanted to ask you that, like, are you focusing on riding it, or you're just kind of like...
I'm letting the gun do the work. Okay. I'm literally letting it recoil its way up.
Let's see if we can do this. So missed the target that time.
Money.
So, I mean, should I just be done there? It's a perfect hit.
Send it. Send it.
I get it now.
Right, so look at that. So way cleaner than my target. And like, are you really applying any effort? Aren't you technically doing less than you would normally do on that?
I'm like, both my hands are at like 30% kind of. Just like bang, bang.
Letting the gun go where it wants to go and just guiding the trigger as you go.
Correct.
That's fucking wild. I mean, guys, this is a real life miracle.
I mean, I'm not mad at these.
No.
I'm not mad at those.
That's a dope group.
Yeah, I mean, here's all my first rounds right here. I'd ride the recoil. I'd see the dot about right here, start prepping the trigger, and then bang.
Yep.
So
it's a legitimately very cool drill. It's totally counterintuitive. You could, of course, do this with irons. It definitely is. I've only done it with red dots, but it is a really fascinating drill to learn. Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's the end of this video.
Yeah, I think so. You know, we little bit different video than we normally do, but a little bit different circumstances. So
we are going to try to do more training content, not with us leading it. We're just going to basically try to do more courses and film a day of it and bring you guys some of that stuff, since you seem to really enjoy it. So,
and hopefully we can get some badass instructors.
Yeah, so no doubt.
I got a couple dudes in mind, so.
Cool. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.